Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. Today we are going to talk about Python, its programming language, and Python is a high-level general-purpose programming language. Its design philosophy emphasizes code readability with the use of significant identification. Its language constructs and object-oriented approach aim to help programmers write clear logical code for small and large-scale projects. Python is dynamical typed and garbage collected. It supports multiple programming paradigms, including structured, particularly procedural, object-oriented, and functional programming. It is often described as a bat-race included language due to its incomparable start library. Guide 1 Rossum began working on Python in the tail 1980s as a successor of ABC programming language and the first realized in 1991 as a Python 0.90. Python 0.2 was released in 2000s and introduced new features such as list, comparators, cycle detecting, garbage collection, reference counting, and Unicode support. Python 3.0, realized in 2008, was a major revision that is not completely backward compatible with the earlier versions. Python 2 was discontinued with the version 2.7.18 in 2020. Python consistently ranks as one of the most popular programming languages. Uh, the history of creating Python is it was uh, convinced in the late 1980s by Guido Rossum at the Centrum voor Wiskunde and Informatica in the Netherlands as a successor to the ABC programming language, which is inspired by Settle, capable of exception handling and interfacing with the Umbrella operating system. Its implementation began in December 1989. Was Rossum shouldered sole responsibility for the project as the lead developer until 12 July 2018, when he announced his permanent vacation from his responsibilities as the Python's benevolent dictator for life, a title the Python community bestowed upon him to reflect his long-term commitment as the project chief. Decision makers in January 2019, Active Python core developers elected a five-member steering council to lead the project. Python 0.20 was released on 16 October 2000, which many major new features. Python 0.30 released on 3 December 2008, with many of its major features pointed to the Python 2.6 and 2.7 and latest. Release of Python 3 includes the 2 to 3 utility, which automates the translation of Python 2 code to Python 3. Python 2.0 end of life was initially set of 2015, then postponed to 2020 out of concern that a large body of existing code could not easily be forward ported to Python 3. No further security patches or other improvements will be realized for it. With Python 2 and end of life, with the Python 3.6 and later we were supported and later support for 3.6 also dropped. In 2022, Python 3.10.4 and 3.9.12 were expedited, and so were older released including 3.8.13 and 3.7.13 because of many security issues in 2022 in Python. In 2021, Python 3.9.2 and 3.8.8 were also expired. All versions of Python, including 2.7, had security issues leading to the possible remote code execution and the web cache position. Python 3.6 is no longer supported as one of 2021. Design philosophy and features. Python is a multi-paradigm program language. Object-oriented programming and structured programming are fully supported, and many of its features support financial programming and as aspect-oriented programming, including by meta-programming and meta-objects. Many other paradigms are supported via extensions, including design by contract and logic programming. Python uses dynamic typing and combination of reference counting and a cycle detecting garbage collector for memory management. It uses dynamic names resolution, which binds method and variable names during program execution. Its design offers some support for functional programming in the Lisp. It has filter, map, and reduce functions, list comparators, dictionaries, sets, and generator expressions. The standard library has two models, iter tools and func tools. That implement function tools borrowed from the Haskell and standard LML. Its core philosophy is summarized in the document The Zen of Python, which includes aphorisms such as beautiful is better than ugly, explicit is better than implicit, simple is better than complex, complex is better than complicated, readability counts. Rather than building all of its functionality into use core, Python was designed to be highly expensive via models. This compact modular has made it particularly popular as means of addicting uh, programmable inference interfaces to exciting applications. One Rossum's vision of small code language with a large standard library and easily expandable interpreter stemmed from his frustrations with ABC, which espoused the opposite approach. Python strives for a simpler, less cluttered syntax and grammar while giving a developers a choice in their coding methodology. In contrast of Paris, there is more than one way to do it. Python embraces there should be one and parallel or only one obvious way to do it. Alex Martil, a fellow at the Python Software Foundation and Python book author, wrote to describe something as clever is not considered a compliment in the Python culture. Um, also, then Python is meant to be easily readable language. Its formatting is visually uncluttered and often use English keywords, where other languages use punctuation. Unlike many other languages, it does not use curly brackets to delimit blocks, and semicolons after statements are allowed but rarely used. It has fewer syntaxes, exceptions, and special cases than C or Pascal. Python uses whitespace indexation rather than curly brackets or keywords to delimit blocks. An increase in detection comes from certain statements, decrease in independent significance, the end of the current block. Thus, the program visual structure accurately represents its semantic structure. This feature is sometimes termed the off-site rule. Some other languages use indentation that way, but in most, indentation has no semantic meaning. The commanded indent size in 4 spaces. So guys, I think it's enough for today. Thank you for your attention. Goodbye.